Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
And good Saturday afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to catch our drift here at Wham Talk 1600. And we'll be on podcast later on at rednationrising.us Saturday and Sunday evenings. You can catch us there. So call in today if you got any comments about the topics we're talking about or anything else that's bothering you. 734-822-1600. And joining me in studio today, Ed Bondarenka. Ipsy Ed. How you doing, Ed?
Howdy, real good, Gary.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Got a lot to talk about. What a crazy week, right?
It's all surreal.
It is. I mean, every Saturday I come in here, it's like, really? I for 5 years I've been doing this, and I'm always amazed there's just the craziest things to talk about. We've got Hillary, we've got Obama overseas, we've got crazy Trump stuff going on. It's just insane. It really is.
If I'm trapped in an alternate universe, I want to know how it's going for my other self, the one who's not in Bizarro World.
This is Bizarro World. You know it. All right, well, let's take care of a little business. Thrivent is our sponsor this morning, and they're doing some retirement and estate strategies events Monday, September 19th from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Novi Public Library. That's 45255 West 10 Mile Road in Novi, Michigan. And then on the 20th of September, 4:30 to 6:30, they're going to be at the Salem South Lyon District Library, and that's on Pontiac Trail in South Lyon. And then on Thursday, September 29th from 4 to 6, they'll be at the Wixom Public Library, and that's on Pontiac Trail as well. So it's in Wixom. And you can call 734-455-9272 or email Huron Valley Group at Thrivent.com. And I know the guys at Thrivent. I got some of my money with friends at Thrivent. So it's a great way. That's part. It used to be part of the Lutheran group, you know what I mean? But these guys are very knowledgeable and very good at what they do. So give them a call, 734-455-9272. And Jeff Long will be the guest speaker doing these retirement and estate strategy events. So check them out. They're free. They don't cost you anything and get you a little information on how to handle your retirement. Okay, so what we do on The Drift every Saturday is talk over the news we've put on the Daily Drift. And if you're not going to the Daily Drift, please do, www.thedailydrift.com. So tomorrow, Ed, 9/11, it's the 15th anniversary of 9/11. And I would encourage everybody to at least go out and watch some of the videos. Maybe share them with your kid. Like my kid's 12 now. He wasn't around. Americans had already started forgetting about that kind of stuff. And I think as Americans, we sometimes have that short attention span and we forget about it. But nobody should forget what happened on 9/11.
Or groups are asking us to wipe the name Islamic terrorist off of monuments to 9/11.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I when I heard that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Why do we listen to these care groups? Why is there a care group in the United States of America after that?
Well, I've got friends who are Islamic. It clearly says Islamic terrorists, okay? It doesn't say Islamics or Islamists. It says Islamic terrorists.
Right. Yeah, it's qualified.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And since when is the truth, become such a bad thing?
Since 1984.
So, one of the things that happened this week, and I wasn't planning on talking to this, but it comes to mind now, is how the media was complaining to that Donald Trump was talking with Larry King, who's on RT, which is RussianTelevision.com, RT.com, and saying, Trump went on Russian television and was talking smack about Barack Obama. Well, what he said was Barack Obama is not as strong as Putin is for Russia. Well, that's a fact. We have the weakest, most worthless president in 100 years, maybe longer. And why is that a bad thing? Whether it's on Russian television or not, it's the truth.
He makes us long for Jimmy Carter.
Exactly right. It's absolutely insane how the truth. He spoke the truth, and it shouldn't matter if it's on Russian television or U.S. television or all over the internet, which it is. It's the truth. Barack Obama is a weak and worthless president who's tried to destroy us because there's no way it's just mistake after mistake after mistake, right?
Nobody's that unlucky.
No, statistically speaking, nobody could be that unlucky or make that many wrong decisions on accident. Statistically speaking, it's just no way. So before we get on, because we're going to get into that, but before we do, there was something I wanted to talk about a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to pick up on Hillary. But I wanted to talk about this because we missed it. Handing over the internet at the end of September. And people should be at least worried. I've done my share of research, and some people are saying there's nothing to worry about, blah, blah, blah. I'm a little worried.
I'm concerned about the management aspects. I expect the internet to blink on and off once in a while. Yeah. Once American technologies no longer control it and it's part of a world group, I'm not quite so sure about the political aspects so much as I just expect it to flutter and go wavy and,
Yeah.
Like right now? Is it?
No, I don't know what's going on with the lines right now. I didn't see anything on there. But, let's go with, hey, Derek, can you give us track one? And this will kind of bring us up to speed. He's trying to talk with callers.
You may not have realized it, but the U.S. has been in official control of the Internet since its development. But that may be about to change, and correspondent Doug McElway tells us not everyone is happy about it.
Its bland name, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, belies its great power. ICANN controls much of the Internet, sending users to the right website and servers, assigning domain names and addresses. When its contract runs out in September of 2015, the Department of Commerce plans to turn over control of ICANN to the international community. Critics say it's a recipe for disaster.
Make no mistake, threats to the openness and freedom of the Internet are real. Some authoritarian leaders, such as Vladimir Putin, have explicitly announced their desire to gain control of the Internet.
Today, 35 GOP members of Congress wrote the Assistant Secretary for Commerce, Lawrence Strickling, asking him to explain the Obama administration's decision to give up control of ICANN. Yesterday, Strickling did little to ease the concerns of a congressional panel.
No one has yet explained to me the mechanism by which any of these individual governments could somehow seize control over the Internet as a whole.
You really don't think that Russia and China have made it very clear what they want to do to suppress Internet freedom?
The president of ICANN has assured critics that plans do not permit an intergovernmental panel, even the UN, from controlling the Internet, and its design prevents central control.
The genius of the Internet that was instilled in its architecture by its founders is that no one can capture it. It's a network of networks.
Critics say there are other concerns, short of outright Internet control.
We get tens of thousands, if not millions, of cyber attacks a day to our government and to our private sector. And I have to believe that any relinquish of control, even the giving out of IP addresses and domain names, can be critical to our national security.
Concern is not exclusive to Republicans.
Well, I thought the system as it was running was doing a fine job.
The president of ICANN says this change was planned long before President Obama took office, and that while authoritarian governments can control what Internet comes into their country, they can't control what is beyond their borders.
All right, so even Nancy Pelosi's smart enough to know that this could be a problem. Right?
What does Al Gore feel about his brainchild? That's what I want to know. What I mean, he must be really upset about this. This is going to hurt his legacy.
Yeah, you look at the UN and everything they touch goes to hell in a handbag. Why would you want some international community, let alone the UN, access to control this? I mean, the United States is unique.
This reminds me of Obamacare. It's like, oh, it's change. Why? Well, change for the better. What was broke about the Internet that we needed this change, and how is it going to get better? I don't buy it.
Yeah. Once again, it's progressivism at its worst, pushing for change that we don't really need.
Well, it's an attack on American exceptionalism too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically, to echo Theron.
Yep.
Basically, American exceptionalism made the Internet. DARPA made the Internet.
Yep.
ARPANET. We made the Internet, and it's what it is today. It's actually a tool of freedom.
Right.
And you're going to get some international – well, this is why internationalists want it to be given to an internationalist organization, somebody who doesn't see America as exceptional.
Yeah. Somebody may throw the rule on if Iran has any say in it. I mean, we've seen what the UN does sometimes. They'll put people or countries like Iran and Syria in charge of human rights. Really? So now you're going to put a country like Iran in charge maybe of the internet? You can't say bad things about Islam. That could be the next step for them.
Well, I'm sorry, what's wrong with the UN? I mean, look at some of the famous leaders of the UN, like Kurt Waldheim. Okay, never mind.
Don't even go there. Let's take a call from Jenny, who wants to talk about a mistake that Fox News made. Jenny, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how you doing there, Gary and Ed?
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, I had to straighten out a friend this morning about what Trump said about Putin.
Yeah.
Because he heard that false statement, that he was cozying up to Putin. Guess where he heard it on? Fox.
He heard it on Fox that Putin and who was getting cozy?
Trump.
Well, yeah, and that may be. I tell you what, I've gotten some guys who are very anti-Trump that want to come on the show, and I'm thinking about bringing them on just to show there could definitely be some relationships there, but they haven't proven to me yet and shown me the information that they're saying. So when they do, I'll probably get him on here. And you, whether you hate Putin or not, let's face it, he's no saint. He's an ex-KGB. He's he's a selfish, self-centered guy. But it looks like he loves his country, but probably only to the fact that it helps him, which makes him a crony capitalist, right? But like we don't have that with Barack Obama. We don't have that with the Clintons. They're all crony capitalists. They're all enriching themselves in some way or another. The trick is to ally yourself with somebody that has that same what's the word I'm looking for, Ed? That same general attitude. You know what I mean? Well, same values, maybe.
Values is where I was going because I'm sorry, Jenny.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Fox was trying to twist it. What Trump said. And I haven't listened to Fox in years, so I'm done with them. But my friend still does whatever.
Yeah.
It's a free country.
Well, Ed and I were talking earlier with guys here at the station about Greta Van Susteren leaving suddenly this week, right? So something's going on at Fox, and you can say she was fired, she can say she quit and exercised whatever rights in her contract. But obviously, there's something going on at Fox. It is not the same conservative network that it used to be. That's pretty evident.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Of course, the youngsters are supposed to be more liberal now that Ailes is gone and they take over. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Murdoch kids.
Yeah. But as far as Trump and Putin are concerned, they both have one thing in common. Trump wants to make America great again, and Putin wants to make Russia great again. Yeah. So the question is, how much conflict will there be between those two concepts?
Yeah. Well, there you go. I would rather have some kind of tenuous relationship with them. You certainly never want to trust Vladimir Putin. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You certainly want to trust and verify, as Reagan said, when you're dealing with the Russians, because you know what they are. They're still rivals, if not enemies. But you always have to be careful who you climb into bed with. It's that simple.
I get that, and you can have anti-Trumpers on if you want to, but if you do, your ratings will go down by 1.
Well, thank you, Jenny. I always appreciate the blunt opinion of Jenny. So it's good to have you on. Anything else, Jenny?
No, I just wanted to say hey, and it's nice to hear you on here, Ed. And anyway, keep up the good work, brothers. And we've got to fight where we can.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a make or break election for this country. So let's hope people are out there pushing for, if you want to call it the lesser of two evils, then go ahead and do that. But do not let Hillary Clinton get in control of this country, because that'll be the end of it. It's that simple. Thanks, Jenny. I appreciate the call.
Okay.
All right. Yep. Take care. Okay. So we should probably go into a break. Derek, can you take us into a break? All right. When we come back, we're going to pick up with I don't know if I want to follow anymore with this internet control or not, but we'll talk about it, and we'll see you on the other side of the break. Take care.